Here in Asheville, residents also held a large protest on gun violence and reform. News 13's Kimberly King was there and reports on the 3-hour march.
About 100 people here in Asheville gathered for the March for Our Lives. They just went around Pritchard Park, beginning their protest at Vance Monument. This was the crowd holding their signs like this one with pictures of smiling students and teachers.
These are the 17 lives that were lost in Parkland.
Mary Hutchinson was a senior.
A lot of them were friends and classmates. 4 years ago, when my school founded March for Our Lives, I was able to be in D.C.
But now she lives here.
Stop gun violence! Stop gun violence! It certainly opens up those wounds.
She's talking about school children now also gone in Uvalde.
Well, I don't know.
Kevin Westmoreland says he doesn't know the answer if partisan politics will ever change when it comes to the topic of guns.
I'm a gun owner. I still have 5 guns.
But Westmoreland is here because he knew a hero, Riley Howell, the T.C. Robertson graduate who tackled the gunman at his school, UNC Charlotte, in 2019, losing his life to save others.
She said, "You can't look away."
Amy is Kevin's wife. That's what Riley's mom told her about Uvalde.
There's so much to it. Do you know it's your person dead on the floor? It's not really real.
Their heartache hasn't gone away. Riley was engaged to their daughter, and the pain of losing him has flooded back with the latest school deaths. Those who are marching are well aware of the partisan divide, but some of the people who are here have had firsthand experience, and they just simply hope that Democrats and Republicans at some point will come together for compromise and change.
Today in the Market Common, people marched for gun reform. The event is called March for Our Lives, and it is a nationwide campaign that advocates for stricter gun legislation. Now, the march was organized by Grand Strand Together and Moms Demand Action. ABC 15's Joel Vasquez was there earlier today, and he has the story.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
With their signs in hand, dozens of people did laps around the Grand Park and chanted "Enough is enough" to gun violence. Following the recent mass shootings that have happened across the nation, some of the marchers, like Anna Bowers, a mother and grandmother, felt it was important to be there today.
There has to come a point in our country when guns are less important than lives, and no ordinary citizen should be walking around with an assault weapon, period. It's time to address it. It's time to make change. And here in South Carolina, I think it's especially important.
Before they started marching, people grabbed the mic to share their thoughts on guns. One of those speakers was high school student Anna Scholl. She was in 2nd grade when the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary happened. Now 17, Anna has seen multiple other shootings take place. She says that shouldn't be something young people are used to.
It's definitely been very frightening and almost really surreal, but at the same time just so normalized. And it made me realize that this doesn't have to be the reality. This isn't the reality for other countries. This isn't the reality for generations before me, and it doesn't have to be the reality for us.
Scholl felt it was important to share this message with young people.
I think that any young person who even kind of has a passion for anything activism related needs to get involved. You can do so little and make such a big difference.
In the Market Common, Joel Vasquez, ABC 15 News.
As you saw there, the marchers held up their signs to passing cars. Some cars honked in support, while some people actually expressed their different view on the issue. There's many sides to this, of course. Now, the House of Representatives passed a gun measure that would raise the age to buy a semi-automatic rifle from 18 to 21. It will need to get approval, though, from the Senate in order to pass.
Between the pandemic and now the rise in gun violence across the country, we are faced with stressors on a daily basis, with some people self-medicating with drugs or alcohol to get through the day.
In an effort to push for more support in substance use disorders and mental health, North Carolina is now handling over $6 million to help. News 13's Kristen Aguirre explains how the money will be used.
Local leaders working in the mental health sector tell me this funding is coming at a crucial time for our community.
These past few years haven't been easy for anyone. Masking up, lockdowns, and now more mass shootings, all impacting our mental health.
Many people did turn to substances during that time.
Deepa Avula, director of the Division of Mental Health, Developmental Disabilities, and Substance Abuse Services for the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, saying 650,000 people suffer from substance use disorders in our state.
We saw significant increases during the pandemic.
which is why Health and Human Services is releasing funding to support efforts to combat the rise.
Part of the reason that individuals don't get care for substance use disorders is because practitioners may be afraid to treat these conditions.
The money will go to funding programs that support those battling substance use disorders, along with providing scholarships to help doctors study addiction, particularly people of color.
Individuals of color who have behavioral health conditions often feel more comfortable seeking a therapist or a counselor or a behavioral health professional who looks like them.
The money will also go to supporting mental health efforts across the state.
One of the things, if there was any silver lining to the pandemic, it is that mental health is being talked about more. It is that substance use disorder is being talked about more.
It's a silver lining Meredith Schweitzer from All Souls Counseling also sees.
There's a lot of uncertainty in our community and our country, not just around the increases in mental health issues because of the pandemic, but now we're also faced with the rise in gun violence and certainly concern about how decisions are going to be made to address that.
Schweitzer is seeing firsthand the rise of anxiety in our community.
We've seen the needs for just in-person therapy go up.
Last year, All Souls served nearly 300 people. Schweitzer is saying she expects to see about a 10 to 20% increase this year.
We're also anticipating seeing more people this year because of the needs. It's an uncertain time, and I know a lot of people are suffering right now.
Recent data from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration says nearly 41 million Americans are living with a substance use disorder.
This money is coming at a critical time in our community.
To find out ways and how you can apply for this funding, visit our website at WLOS.com.